This is the Momentum Podcast.
Have you ever felt like your list of things to do was never ending? If you're a visionary entrepreneur who can't turn it off and is looking for a way to lower the pressure and noise in your life, then this episode of the Momentum Podcast is specifically for you. In this episode, Alex covers how to understand why entrepreneurs like us are prone to experience pressure and noise at a high level, how to identify the areas in your life where you can start to offload these things that are causing you pain, and how to simplify the systems and processes around you so that you can get into momentum and stay there.
I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future. And instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be.
All right, so now to the chat. So the first question, Alex, was from Damon Sweeney. Can you talk about your ideas about mental noise?
Yeah. I'm going to give you kind of a history answer. So I've been working with entrepreneurs. I'm 48. I keep telling people I'm 47. I always forget for like the first 6 months. So I'm 48. I just turned 48 last month. And I've been coaching, consulting with entrepreneurs since I was 21, and I've been running businesses since I was 16. And what I've seen in this massive consistency in the lives of entrepreneurs is that they try to compartmentalize everything and make it so that like, oh, marriage is falling apart, but I'm going to crush it in business, or like just had a stroke, but I'm still going back to the office, like stuff that just doesn't make sense. And we tend to think like noise here isn't affecting me over here. And here's my belief around who we are as entrepreneurs. The more we're able to lower the pressure we feel and the noise we feel and hear in our lives, the faster we can get into momentum. And so I just homogenize it all together. To me, pressure and noise it's all of it. It's all of the things that are bothering you. And so, or affecting you, or putting pressure on you, or increasing the noise around you. And so when I talk about that, in my experience, one of the fastest ways to move your business and your life forward is to dramatically lower the pressure and noise around you. And that's what our system does. Those of you who have been through it, you know that it takes you through kind of an unpeeling process to understand where pressure and noise is coming from in your lives. And here's why I talk about it so much. As entrepreneurs, we are insane optimists. How many of you would agree that there's like, you can get beat down, but sometimes you're so optimistic about stuff that everybody's like, dude, you're going to fall off that cliff. And you're like, yeah, but it's not that far down. Yeah, but you can't see the bottom. I know, but I might catch something, like, right? So we're off the charts optimists. And so what happens is, as we experience pressure or noise of any kind, we've got like this, DVR function where it's kind of erasing the bad parts for us as we go through it. And we just want to forget about it. How many of you know that happens to you? And so when I look at this concept, I would much rather understand where noise is coming from. I think that the majority of the personal development and self-help world is about denial of pressure and noise, and like using, state changes and really quick fixes to make it so that like everything in your life is better. But really, the more we identify the things that are taking momentum away from us and move them out of our lives, the faster we get into momentum that we can stay in and doesn't feel like fight or flight and isn't panicky. And so the way that I learned this, because this was not my instinct when I started running businesses, when I was 21, I started as a consultant, and I had previously been a fitness model in a couple of events and shows. So, and I'm not saying that to say like, hey, I was a fitness model. I'm saying that to say like I started out pretty well. And at 32, I weighed over 300 pounds. I had a 44-inch waist. I was on 5 different prescriptions because I was like, I'm going to do anything to grow a business. And I'm going to put up with anything. I just want to win. I want to succeed. How many of you have had that period of your lives? So mine almost killed me, like no joke. And as I went through that, I started reading about the lives of successful people. I've been reading since I was a kid. And I started to see these patterns of like, they made all the stuff that they hated go away, or they removed the pain from their lives, or they figured out what they really wanted. And they like precipitously lower pressure and noise. And then their lives get insanely better and they start to experience success. And so that's my concept of pressure and noise. And this system actually is built around helping you do that on a daily basis, which I don't know of any other system out there that does that. Here's the thing about our processes. They are all minimum effective dose. And here's what I mean by that. I've been using the same processes, the same structures, the same systems for a long time. And if there's ever an opportunity to shave an edge or make it easier or take a step out, we've done it. Like we do it all the time. We take 10-minute videos and turn them into 6-minute videos. Like you've seen how our stuff is. It's quick and it's very direct. And so if I say take 5 minutes for this exercise, set a timer and take 5 minutes. Because if you put in the time, especially the prescribed time, you'll get the results that we want. And the system for forward planning is a system that I've used for about 20 years in one-on-ones. Like I would get together with somebody like, hey, let's figure things out. Let's figure out where you're going to go. And oftentimes if I was working with somebody in their business, until I helped them get straight on what they wanted, it was really hard to get answers over here. So I would sit down and go through that process first. And what it always did was made them very clear and very excited and very grounded around where they were going. And it made business planning way easier.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Momentum Podcast. If you're ready to start building momentum in your business and step into your destiny as the visionary leader of your business, get the prescription right now at Charfen.com/build momentum. That's Charfen.com/build momentum.